Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Great White Northerner here, and we've got a box of quarters today. We've been doing lots of pennies recently, and I thought it's time to switch things up. Let's get a box of quarters done. We'll get back to the pennies, working through that book filler series. So if you haven't caught that, go check that out. And today we're doing quarters, so hopefully get some silver. The silver jar needs some love. We have not had much luck with the boxes of quarters that I've done recently, so I think I've got maybe 2 quarters in there so far. Might have 3, not sure. Let's see what we've got in here. Looks like we got customer wrapped rolls. A one-ender showing. Nothing too interesting on that. So I will bring you in a second. Please remember to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Let's cross our fingers. Hope we get some silver, get some nice colored quarters, and we're gonna get right into it here with first roll in the corner.
Let's just have a good time, live a good life. What you mean when you say you are new, hey? What you mean when you play like all night? Nightlife is a highlight. I'm a fly guy, this is skyline. I don't got the time for my problems. I got the time to dissolve them. Music is my oxygen, I'm breathing, no stopping. Human but my oxygen, the music when it's dropping. Some of these vibes provided in these lines. I'm trying to design the rhyme, checking my mind. Music be described, I got ahead of my time. Beat be prescribed, cause I feed it full of lines. Money ain't nothing, you turn it into something. I'm selling for the money, make you look real funny. Put my own name in discussion, I'm a hustler. Work real hard to show you that I'm coming, yeah. So let me tell you that it's going on.
Roll number 2, and not too exciting, but this is a pretty decent looking 1995, so I'm going to set it aside for now as a find. I think I have probably as good or better in my collection, but I will check it against my book. You can see it has almost no, well, it's a little bit of circulation wear when you kind of hold it up against the light like that, but it's in really decent shape for a coin that's, 26 years old, so I'll set it aside. They are a slightly lower mint as well. They're just under 90 million on these, and they're, of course, 100% nickel. So anyway, I'll set it aside for now, and we'll check it against the book at the end of the hunt. Roll 4, and we have a find here. It is the 1978 small bead variety. So there are 2 varieties, obviously, with this one, small and large bead. This one is the small bead version. It is, typical of a 78. They're never in great shape, or rarely in great shape, but well circulated. It's got a bit of rubbing there, so you can see both sides. But the way to check this, and I've gone over this a few times, but I'll go over it again in this video, just in case you haven't watched earlier videos. But you can see here, so this is typically how I will check these. If you count these denticles from this straight line of the D to the point of the A, on a large bead variant, there will be 10 of them, and on a small bead variant, there will be 12. So there are 12 here, and that makes this a small bead variant. I'll post up the information on it. They're an AU50, it's about $1.95 is the price that shows on Coins in Canada. That is not an AU50. It's maybe worth 50 cents instead of a quarter, if that even. But I'll set it aside as a variant, and we'll count it as a find. So very next roll, and I actually found another 1978, and this is the large bead variety. So you can see the difference. I'll show you the 78 in a second, but you can see there's, if you count those, there's 10 of them. And I'll just slide the other one in here so that you can see it in comparison. And there's the small bead variety. So you see there's definitely a big difference between those beads. And unfortunately, that is actually a much nicer coin, the large bead one here. And actually the obverse is in really great shape. But it is the large bead variant. It is more common and definitely not worth anything. But thought I'd show you kind of side by side so you can see the difference. I just want to say too that I'm 5 rolls in, and I've been short a quarter on every one of these rolls. So I'm down $1.25 so far, but hopefully it doesn't keep up that way. These are all wrapped differently by different people, or different wrapping paper, but each one has been a quarter short. So anyway, hopefully it doesn't continue. Roll 6 and down another quarter. Roll 13, and I wasn't going to bring you in on this, but I thought I might as well let you know. I did find a 1970, which is a low mint key date or semi-key date. It's about 10 million minted of these. This one is in pretty rotten shape. I don't know if you can see it, but there's quite a few scratches. Moves on the obverse there. Yeah, you can see all the scratches on the obverse. Pretty well circulated. I'll set it aside as a fine, but I won't be keeping that one for the collection. And I have been what we call pulling light. So we're $2 short right now. Pulling light, for those that don't know, is a poker term. If you are in a limit game and you're trying to stay in the game by calling bets in the game, what you do is you basically pull, if you had to make a 50-cent call in the game, you pull 50 cents out of the pot, set that aside, and then by the end of the pot you have to match that, so then you can pull your money out. Rather, just so you don't have to pull money out in the middle of the game, slow the game down. You can do that at the end of the game, and you're just keeping track of how much you owe the pot that way. So basically that's what I've done. Every time I've been short, I've just been pulling a quarter out and setting aside. I've got a piece of paper and a pen, but I'm too lazy, so I'm doing it that way. Anyway, $2 short so far. I guess I should explain too. So what I do actually, my very first roll, I always set aside, and then that becomes my filler roll for anything that I take out. So I just set it aside, and then I'll fill the roll up if I pull a quarter out. So when I say pulling light, I mean I'm pulling light out of this extra $10 roll here that I've just got set aside for the time being. So anyway, just in case that didn't make sense, that's what I'm doing. Very next roll, and we have first American coin that we found, and it is actually a Denali state or park quarters, America the Beautiful quarters from 2012, and that is a Philadelphia mint. So I will check that against my book. I know I'm missing the one from Denver, and I'm not sure about the one from Philadelphia, so I'll set that aside, and we'll check that against my America the Beautiful set that I've been working on, if you've been watching any of my previous videos. So, all right, we'll come back to that at the end. Roll 16, and we have another find here. It is from the 1992 province series. It is Saskatchewan, so one of the Canadian provinces. There are 12 in this series, 10 provinces and 2 territories. And these are in the 10 to 14 million range. I'm not sure what Saskatchewan is, but somewhere around probably 11 or 12 million as far as mintage goes. So anyway, it's in okay shape. I will hang on to that and set it aside. Roll 21, and we've got another 1978 small bead variant here. I won't bother showing it to you on the microscope. You already know what it looks like, but yeah, we do. That's our second one. It's actually in better shape than the other one that we found earlier, although not a whole lot better. I did find actually another 1995 in really good shape. It's actually in nicer shape even than the first one, which I thought was in pretty decent shape. So I set that one aside as well. And I just repackaged this roll and had to add another quarter to it. Well, 3 quarters actually, because I took 2 out. So yeah, we are now $3 short as far as my stock goes over there. Yeah, almost every roll has been a quarter short as I've been going through this. So a little frustrating, but anyway, moving on. Roll 28, and we have another semi-key date find here. It is another 1970. This one's in a lot nicer shape than the other one. So happy to find that, and I will set that aside with the rest. And for those who are keeping count, $3.50 for short. Roll 31, and we've got our first colored quarter. So I have found a couple other quarters that had some color on them, but they were so worn I didn't bother bringing in for them. But this one we'll keep. It is a green bison from the Legendary Nature series in 2011, and there are a colored version and a non-colored version of each of these coins. About 6 million, 6.25 million, I believe, of each of these. So set that aside as a find, and on to the rest of the roll. Roll 43, and there has not been a whole lot in this box to get too excited about. So the very first time I'm up a quarter, I guess that's something to write home about. But as you can see, I am now $5.50 short. I get to pull one back because I had an extra quarter in that roll. But at the moment, we're over $5 short so far out of this box. So yeah, that's been fun. Roll 45, and we have another colored quarter find here. This is the War of 1812 Loris Secord. Again, there is a colored version and a frosted version of this. Each of them has about a 6.25 million mint run rate, and this is from 2013, and it's in great shape, so I will hang on to that one. There was a pink ribbon poppy here as well from 2005, I think this one is 2006. It's not in great shape, and there's a little over 35 million, I think, of those that were made, and they're pretty common, so I don't hang on to those unless they're absolutely pristine. All right, on to the next. Roll 49, and we have another province quarter, 1992. And this is the Yukon quarter. It is the most rare of the 12 quarters from that set, only by a little bit. They're all down around that 11 to 14 million or so. And I think this is right around the 11 million or 10 million mark, somewhere in there. So anyway, set that aside. We got a couple of the province quarters. And we're getting to the end of the box. I'll bring you in if I find anything else. Otherwise, we'll do a recap. All right, so we're all done. I got everything back in the box, and I got one roll missing here. So that is down here. So all the quarters that were in that box are here on the table. There's 75 cents over here, was just left over, didn't make it back into a roll. And then these are the ones that we pulled out. So for the hunt, not a great hunt in terms of what we found, but we did get a couple province quarters here, the Yukon and the Saskatchewan quarter from 1992. Got a nice looking 1912 War of 1812 Lower Seacord quarter with the color on it, green bison. And then we got two 1978 small bead varieties here. The one is in better shape. I'll probably want to keep the one, to be honest. And the same thing with the 1970. I'll keep the nicer of the two 1970s as kind of a semi-key date there, down around 10 million or so that were minted. The 1995, I did actually check my book, and interestingly enough, the one that's in there actually has slightly better gloss, but it's got some scratches and stuff on it. So I'm actually going to replace that one with one of the 95s that I found today. It was in pretty decent shape. So I'll set that aside. And the other one can go back in the box. And then I did find a 2021 that was in pretty decent shape. I'm keeping a few of those. I don't remember how many I had, so I just pulled it out. And then also a Hope for a Green Future uncolorized version was in pretty decent shape as well. I'll check that against what I've got. I'm not sure whether I'll keep it. But anyway, then we got the Denali 2012 America the Beautiful quarter. And it's from Philadelphia. And I was actually missing that. So if we just pull this book out of the way. And this is my America the Beautiful book over here, and you can see I am missing the 2012 Philadelphia one, which is what that is. And this is my Philadelphia book. So one more for the book. Oh, upside down. Slowly moving forward with this collection. I have not found a whole lot to fill in since I did the original one, but you can see where we're sitting so far with the America the Beautiful. And this is just the Philadelphia ones, and then I do have the Denver ones that I am keeping in another book. So that was awesome. Nice to find one more for that. And then just an update on what we got gypped out of this box. So if you do the math, if I bring this one back down here, we've got 75. So there's $1 there, and there is $1 here, and oops, sorry. So $1 there, $1 there, and $1 there. And then 75 plus, I just put the one quarter in for the US quarter. So $1, $2, $3, $4. So I was $6 short. Pretty much every roll was one quarter. Not every roll, but most of them were at least one quarter short. And there was two rolls that were actually 2 quarters short, and then I had one overstuffed roll. So yeah, that kind of sucks. Whoever made this box up chipped us out of $6. And that is the danger of coin roll hunting, guys. So normally you think, okay, it's a safe way to collect coin. And normally it is. This is unusual, I would say, where sometimes you're short, but it's not often that you're $6 short in a box of quarters like this. When you're doing loonies and toonies, which is one of the reasons I don't do loonies and toonies, it's easy to be, $6 to $10 short in a box, just because you can have multiple rolls that just one of $1 or a toonie. You're going to end up being short pretty quickly. So, but normally you don't see that in quarters, but it is a danger when you are coin roll hunting that you could end up getting gypped quite significantly. So I've had some pretty bad dime rolls, or dime boxes as well. Entire rolls have been down $1. So anyway, I don't know how you do that with dimes, but you get them in there sideways, and that's what happens. Anyway, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the hunt. I know it wasn't all that exciting, but I thought it was worth posting just because we ended up getting so shorted on this roll. And we did get a couple book fillers actually, and a couple key dates. So, not a complete write-off. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys all take care, and have a great day.